why, as women, we lose interest in sex once we are married and we stop wanting sex. The first reason, we're going to save the biggest one for last. But the first reason, number one, is every time we have sex, we feel like we're giving another piece of ourselves away that we don't have to give. Feel like we're giving a piece of ourselves away and we feel like an object, and that our husband is just taking something from us that isn't there to give in the first place. And the reason that we feel that way, that we're giving that piece of ourselves away, is because it stems from our disconnection from ourselves. And it stems from our unhealthy relationship with ourselves, which is that disconnection, which is what I call being unhappy. No one's home. No one's in here. We're not connected to ourselves. So we have nothing to give. And from that place of being disconnected, that place of being unhappy, we are drained and we're empty because we're putting everything and everyone else before us. There's no consideration of ourselves. There's no thought of what do I need to be doing to care for myself so that I can be full and whole and have plenty to give to my husband and plenty to give to my kids and other relationships. We know we are the queens of putting ourselves last, which is fascinating because we're so selfish and so self-centered, which actually stems from putting ourselves last, because then we're drained and we're empty and we feel entitled then to pull sex away because we have nothing to give in the first place. So that's the first reason why we lose interest and stop wanting sex. The second reason of why we lose interest and stop wanting sex in our marriages is self-punishment. Number two is self-punishment. I don't deserve anything that's going to make me feel good, because we feel so bad about ourselves inside. We are so insecure. We pick ourselves apart. We are constantly comparing ourselves to other women and their lives and what we think their lives look like. We tear down how we look physically and just beat ourselves up, and we know this as women. We know this, and we can put a facade on and pretend we don't have this. I was real good at that. But if we get really honest with ourselves and we shine the flashlight, we will see how bad we feel about ourselves, and then we withhold and deprive ourselves of anything that will make us feel good. Sex is designed to be a pleasurable experience. It's why God made us the way that we are and the organs that we have, and we're made to enjoy it both as women and as men. So the reason that we don't is being shut down. And again, and there's other reasons to that, but number two, we lose interest because it's a form of self-punishment. The third reason that we lose interest in sex and stop wanting sex, number three, we need to be in control. As women, once we get married, we get older, the more and more rigid we become, the more afraid we become of life, and we start to grasp and clinch on very, very tightly and trying to control everything in life. And sex is a relationship and a context in life that threatens that sense of control and makes us feel like we are going to lose control. Because if you're gonna have fun and enjoy sex, you gotta loosen up a little bit. And we don't wanna lose that control. And we feel we lose the spontaneity and the enjoyment and exploration that we had when we were younger with sex. And so we don't wanna loosen the reins and actually enjoy sex because we're terrified of losing control. And again, ladies, this is the stuff that hides, that we suppress, that we deny, that we make unconscious, that we have to shake up and look at so that we can actually change it. One of the best things that my mentor ever taught me is that as long as we deny it, we cannot heal it. We can only heal that which we are to expose and be vulnerable and look at. The fourth reason that as women we lose interest in sex and we stop wanting sex, we never learn to enjoy it for ourselves in the first place. That's number 4. We never learned to enjoy it for ourselves in the first place. We had sex for all the wrong reasons. We used sex as a weapon and a manipulation to get men or to get our needs of feeling wanted and liked and accepted and loved met. And we had sex for the man. We did what we thought we needed to do that they like to get them. And we never stopped to think, "What do I like?" We put on a show, and we think, "Oh, I need to be like this woman, or I need to be like what men see in porn." And we start to put on the show, and we're never true to ourselves, and we never really learn what we like. And ultimately, it means we're shut down to sex, and we don't wanna feel. We don't wanna feel, and we don't wanna explore and understand ourselves and what we actually like and what we don't like, and then learn to be ourselves in sex. Ladies, I can promise you all good men want is for you to be yourself in sex. It doesn't I promise you, my husband and I like to explore a lot of different things in the beginning of our relationship. And things change once you get married and you get older and you find what you like and what you don't like. And my husband said, "I'm just so glad you're yourself and you know what you like and enjoy." And I'm so happy. He said this morning when we were talking, when he asked about what my show was about, he was like, "Yeah, sex sure is fun now." It's about knowing yourself and what you like. And for us as women, we're so messed up around sex. Men understand sex for what it is. It's a physical experience. It's an enjoyable physical experience that we were made to have, and we have all the right parts to enjoy it and for it to be pleasurable. But as women, we make it emotional and we make it about love. I made sex about beginning a relationship, and it if and sex meant relationship and sex meant love. We cannot be further off from that. It's a physical experience we get to enjoy, and when we're married, there's one person that we can enjoy that with, which is our husbands. So we never explored sex for ourselves. We don't A lot of us is when we don't even know our bodies. We don't even understand our bodies sexually. Um, and we're scared to go there because we've made it so big and overwhelming, and we don't know what we like. We don't know what we don't like. And because we've never enjoyed it for learned to enjoy it for ourselves and done that exploration to understand what we like and don't like, we buy in to all the myths that are fed to us by society and psychology and our friends and the books we read, all these myths that we're like ovens that and we need to be turned on, and we're told how we're supposed to enjoy sex. So that we need a lot of foreplay, that we need to be warmed up, that we have to get to an orgasm every single time, that we need it to last a long time, that our husband needs to do all the work to get us in the mood, which isn't going to happen. And number 5 is going to explain why. You have to explore what you like. I learned for myself, and the majority of women that I have worked with, I learned don't need a lot of foreplay. It doesn't need to be this complicated big production. The simpler I make it, the more I enjoy it, and then the more my husband enjoys it. So you've gotta do the work to explore for yourself and not just buy into what we're told of how we're wired with sex, because a lot of it, and don't mean this crass, is BS. It's BS when you really get to know yourself and you open yourself up and you stop shutting down, you will find it so much simpler than you ever imagine. So I'll get into that more in another video. I could talk about that for a long time. So that was number 4. Number 5. This is the most important because this is the core issue. The 5th reason of why women lose interest in sex and stop wanting sex once they are married is we have weakened our husbands beyond the point of being attracted to them. Number 5, I'm gonna repeat it because it's the most important one. We have weakened our husbands to the point of no longer being attracted to them. That's what happens, ladies, when we emasculate our husbands, meaning we shame them, we make them wrong constantly, we nitpick everything that they do. We tell them, give them the message constantly how they are not good enough. We are constantly trying to change them. We treat them like children. When this is how we treat our husbands and we emasculate them, all those examples, that's how we emasculate. We strip our husbands of their sense of being a man and weaken them and make them a shell of a man. Of course, we're not attracted to them after we do that to them. The most common word that gets used, and this is where I had gotten to, and it wasn't my husband's fault. It was my own doing. The most common word that we use as women of what happens once we weaken our husbands to the point of no longer being attracted to them is we are repulsed by them. We find them repulsive. That's what happens for us when we emasculate our husbands, is we become repulsed. And it is our own doing. It is our own doing through the emasculation that we become repulsed by our husbands. And ultimately, the emasculation, the weakening of our husbands stems from how we feel about ourselves. And that we're repulsed by ourselves when this is how we treat our husbands who are good men, and we shame them and we make them wrong and nothing they can do is right. And we're cruel and we're unkind from that place. It's a reflection of how much we don't like ourselves and how deep down truly how we loathe and hate ourselves. And we don't have the context to see that and go there and resolve it and work on it. We don't get the right context. We're taken in the wrong direction, thinking we feel those ways because it's our upbringing, our childhood, our family, our parents, our past. And there's no solution there. We're not taught how to go in and take responsibility. No, we don't feel good about ourselves because of the choices and decisions we make. And in this context of marriage, how we show up in our relationships is not good women and not good people. So then we don't feel good about ourselves and we take it out on our husbands because we think we're justified and think it's them. They're the ones causing us to feel that way. But the truth is we're repulsed by ourselves. And then we've projected that onto our husbands and weakened them. And then we're no longer attracted to them. So those are the top 5 reasons of why as women we stop wanting sex and lose interest once we are married.